Alright, so I'm going to open up and disassemble this HP, NV x360 convertible PC model 15-AQ173CL. So first what you're going to want to do is remove all the screws from the bottom. So it looks like these are using T5, and most likely there's a PH1 or JIS1 screws hidden under each of these feet. So you want to keep all these screws in order because they can be different size, shapes, and lengths. So keep that in mind. It's a good idea if you have this like rectangular pattern, just put it like that on your desk. I just put them like this with the head down so that they stay in place, okay? And that's how you keep them in order. All right. Okay, so we're going to remove those, and then let's remove the 4 at the bottom here. And 4. Okay. So once you get all 4 of these screws out, let's go ahead and remove the rubber feet, because I'm pretty sure there's screws hidden under there, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be PH or JIS1. Alright, so just get your fingernail or pry tool or whatever, a needle, get underneath these little rubber feet, and peel it up. And yes, as you can see, there is a screw hidden under there, okay? I'm going to do this on both sides, and yes, it also is PH1 or JS1. Okay. Alright, let's peel this one up as well. Okay, the screw on this side is more up on this corner. Alright, so we'll take out those 2 screws as well. And usually there aren't any screws hidden under these feet because there's already 4 screws going across that way, so we're going to leave that be. Screws staying in place. I might need a magnet to get them out. Let's see, sometimes you gotta just like wobble it as you kind of lift, but nope. Alright, so I'm gonna get a magnet to make this easier to pull it out. If you can't get it out, it looks okay. Yeah, you can take them out. But if you can't get these screws out, it's okay. Just be careful when you open the cover to catch them if they fly out. Okay. So there we go, just like that. Alright. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, let's open up the computer. So the easiest way I find to remove these covers is you open it up and then you find the seam here. So there's the seam right here. And either you want to get your fingernails in and then push on this side, or you want to go from the other side, get your fingernails in and push from the back. Okay, so since the cover is going this way, I'm pretty sure we're going to go from this side. Make sure not to push on the trackpad because you don't want to push that through the bottom of the computer. Okay, and then just push just like this. Okay, and if it doesn't come out, let's see, I think it came out a little bit on one side here. We might have to use a different method for this one. Okay, this one doesn't seem to want to come out. Let's try with the suction cup. I'm going to try towards the center. And no, that's not working either. Okay, so maybe we have to start prying from the back side. So let's go from the back. You can see there's this gap here. Okay, be careful because there's like the air vent or the speaker thing. You don't want to push that into the laptop, but we do want to try and lift this. Let's see if we can get that. So this cover is pretty tough. It looks like we might have to use my metal pry tools. Yep, this cover doesn't want to come off. So we're going to have to use a metal pry tool to get this out. Let me try one more time this way because most people aren't going to have the right tool to open this. So I'm going to make it easier for me by tilting it forward this way when I do it. Okay. I mean, it sounds like it's popping up, but nothing's happening. So let's... Alright, we're going to have to use the metal pry tool. So I'm going to use this thin metal tool, and I'm going to start from the side. Let's see here. Wow, this cover's really tough to get open. Let's go to the front then. And you don't want to stick the tool too far because there's components in there that you can damage if you do. So just be careful for that. Okay. I just heard one clip come up. Did it actually come up though? Wow, these clips are super strong. Okay, so let's try and keep trying to pry this up, but it doesn't want to come up. Alright, let's go to the side here. Hopefully once I get this cover off, I can kind of show inside what it looks like so you can kind of see where the actual... Okay, the side clips are easier to remove. So go along the side. There we go. Looks like the front, where the laptop opens side part, is the easiest. So go here, kind of lined up with the rubber foot. And maybe a little bit higher. Nope, even higher. There we go. So higher up than the rubber foot. And it looks like it's kind of coming up. And this is pretty tough to pop this cover open, man. I don't know here. It might be bending stuff. So, I don't know. This side doesn't seem to want to come out as easily. So, let's go ahead and work from the side that already popped up quite a bit more. Alright, so here you can see this side popped up. So, I'm going to kind of wiggle this cover. So, I'm pushing the cover over that way and then just back and forth, just wiggling it like this. And it looks like it's coming out now. So, kind of wiggle it like that. Alright, I don't know why it's stuck so strong. This is some crazy stuff. Okay, let's try and pop this corner part out. Oh, there we go. And there we go. Now we got the whole cover out. So, I don't know why that's so difficult. There's not really much here. The only part is all the way towards the back. So, just be careful prying there. I guess the front you can kind of insert the tool pretty far. You got these clips here. And yeah, we got these clips on the side here. So the way these clips are designed, if you can push the case inwards, that's what you want to do to release these clips. So these clips go out like towards the center, and then it hooks onto this. So to remove it, what you want is you get the tool and you're kind of like pushing the cover in towards the center. And that's what seems to be the easiest. And it seems like prying this side was the easiest where the battery is, but that might just be because this battery is like bulging out. Alright, anyways, we got the battery in here, model number MB04XL. They're probably going to have to replace their battery soon because it looks pretty bad. We got a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD, which we're upgrading because it's only 250 gigs. And we cloned this. We already cloned this hard drive or SSD to a 1 terabyte SSD. So we're going to remove this. Just take the one screw out, pull the thing slightly up at an angle, and then pull it back just like that. And there we go. We got the SSD out. We're going to put in the new 1 terabyte SSD just like this. Line it up. I like to put pressure on both sides just so it's not pushing the connector off the board. All right, drop that in place and put this screw in. To be safe, you want to disconnect the battery and press the power button, but for RAM and SSD, usually it's not an issue. If you mess with the video cable here, then you're definitely going to have some problems. So battery connectors here, pretty easy to remove. Probably should have mentioned this first, but for SSD and RAM, it doesn't matter. Alright, so what you do, you get the wings of the connector here, and you just wiggle the connector or the wings, and eventually it will come out just like this. Alright, there you go, very easy. And after you disconnect the battery, it's always a good idea, open up the computer, and then press and hold the power button. So the power button on this one is on the side here, but you want to have the computer open. Oh, sorry, it's going off camera. So the button's here. I can't get that in. There we go. So press and hold the power button, but you want the computer open because if the computer screen is closed, sometimes it won't send the power on signal to the computer, and then doing this won't really do anything. All right. So after 10 to 15 seconds, you can close this. All right, you got the keyboard backlight cable here, keyboard connector here. I believe this is the trackpad connector. Got the connector here for all these ports on the side, which is, what's that? The lock. You got the USB port, headphone jack, and the volume buttons here. This lock is not part of the board. Let's see, you also got the power button and the power light, or the charging light. All right, or the power light. Then you got the charger here with the charging light for the charger DC jack, which is underneath this plastic piece. Got the wireless antennas here. CMOS or BIOS battery is here. So to remove that, you just use a screwdriver and kind of like push it this way as you lift it up and it'll pop out. It'll go past these little latches that are blocking it. Alright, what else do we got? The RAM is, I think the RAM's the only thing left. You got the speaker connector here. This connector is for the fan. Sorry if I'm going out of view. The fan I think you can remove with these screws, but you have to unroute the LCD or LVDS connector. All these connectors are the same. You flip up these latches and then you can pull the connector out, and then to put it back you kind of just slide your finger over the top. Alright, so the RAM, it's in this, under this little cover. So you just lift this up, the metal cover. Alright, just like this. Get underneath. Oops, let me zoom out. Alright, get underneath and then lift this up. It does have these little metal latches that kind of grab onto it. Alright, and they're only using one slot, so I don't know, sometimes customers mess with their computers, but this one looked like it was never opened before, so most likely on yours you'll have one stick of 8 gig PC4 2400T. So if you want, you can, as long as you get PC4 2400T, you can go with 2 16 gig sticks. You can get another 8 gig stick. It's usually good idea to keep the same size memory. If you have mismatch, it does run a little bit slower usually. So yeah, but I don't really do benchmarks, so I don't really notice the speed difference. And then you got the CPU that's soldered, if I didn't mention that, and the heatsink is, this is the heatsink, but the CPU underneath is soldered to the board. And that's pretty much all there is. I can actually show you under the wireless antennas, so I'm gonna pop these up just like this. Okay. Move the antennas out of the way, and here you can see the charge port or DC jack connector. So that comes out the same way as the battery. I'm not going to mess with it. And the wireless card comes out the same way as the SSD. So to put back the antennas, you just gotta make sure they're completely lined up. You don't want to try and push it down when they're not lined up, or you can damage the connectors. Okay, make sure it's lined up and then push it down. Right. Get lined up. The way I know it's lined up is if I move my finger over the top, it usually stays in place, and then you can just snap it down. Alright, so there we go. It looks like there's an area here for a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive, but you will need like a bracket and adapter. So there's these little screw hole mounts that are supposed to, these two have screws that can hold the hard drive in place. If you're putting a 2.5-inch SATA SSD in here, you don't need to worry about the bracket, but you do need the connector, and the connector has a ribbon cable that connects to this little slot here. Alright, so let's put back on this RAM cover, and that's pretty much it. If you need help figuring out how to clone your hard drive over or anything like that, just let me know. I have videos for that. I can send it to you or send you a link. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's put this thing back together. Alright, so we'll just get this cover back on. Let me zoom out again. Alright, and then just snap all these clips back in place. Just like that. Make sure all the clips are good. Alright, and then we'll just put back all the screws. So since we only have the 2 PH1 screws, we're going to put those first. Okay, just like this. Alright, get this rubber cover and try and get it to line up the way you had it torn off. So just like this. Okay. And the other one, half the adhesive is missing, so just like that. Alright, and then put back in all the T5 or Torx 5 screws. Alright. Oh, shoot. I think I forgot to reconnect the battery. So let's open this back up. I guess now we'll see if it really is easier to disassemble the way I was mentioning. Alright, take these screws back out. I guess I'll leave the screws in this time. Alright, I'm going to use the flat pry tool. Go in from this side, and then you can kind of push it this way and lift it. It actually helps to lift it up, but you do want the cover to go in towards the center. Okay, so once you get that, then kind of pull it towards the center and lift it up. Alright, looks like it's working. And then you can wiggle the case side to side. That helps pull the clips in towards the center to remove them. And then as you can see, pulling it towards the center, it releases those clips. Alright, let's plug the battery back in. Make sure you get it completely lined up and then pinch the two wings to the connector like that. Alright, and now we'll just put this all back together. Again, same thing, just line it up, push everything back down. Okay, everything looks good. Put back these screws. I always like to turn it backwards until I hear it click so I know it falls into the threads properly. There we go. Alright, get this line back up. Push that down. And get this one lined up. Push that back down. Alright, let's go back to the T5 Torx 5 screwdriver. Put back those screws. And this one has a separate CMOS battery, so it shouldn't have an issue turning back on, but in some cases it will tell you that the BIOS was reset. So if your computer's not turning on, you might have to plug it in and then turn it on after that. Alright, get back all the screws. Okay, and that's all there is to it. So hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe. Help others find my videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.